And when you do this, this is how you make over $100,000 a month profit. And that's a very big difference here because we are talking about profit. That is cash in your pocket after all expenses are paid. And the difference between a cash flow business and an enterprise value driven business is that with the enterprise business, when you make $100,000 with that kind of business, after all the expenses, you reinvest back into the business and you're left with barely anything. $5,000 to $10,000 maximum in a good scenario. And that is why there are so many successful entrepreneurs out there with multi-million-dollar businesses that can barely afford to buy a house, let alone live the lifestyle that I live. On the other hand, with a service-based business, when I make $100,000, do you know how much of that I actually keep? It's $80,000, $85,000, sometimes even $90,000. And at the end of the day, when the business owners that run an enterprise value-driven business see how much money that we are taking home personally, knowing that most of the time they're making 2, 3, 5, even 10 times the amount of revenue that we do and still taking home only a little fraction of what we take. All they wish is to have a business like ours because they end up being what I like to call revenue hostages. They see those $100,000 in revenue and just as quick as it comes in and just as quick as it hits their bank account, it flows out. They never get to keep the money. And by the way, that has a deep psychological effect on you, knowing that you're moving hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to only keep a few grand at the end of it. And all of that stems from the fact that they focus on revenue, which is a vanity metric, instead of focusing on profit. Now, in the business game, the ones that win are not the ones that make the most, but the ones that keep the most at the end of it. And you have to be able to see through this. You know, there's a lot of business influencers out there that say they're worth X amount and blah, blah, blah.